Let me ask you 3 questions to see if any of these sound familiar. Do you have to get up at night to go to the bathroom 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times? Or what about hot flashes? It's like you're having to change pajamas and sheets over and over and over, and you're like, what is my problem? Or what if there's just no libido, no intimacy, and you just feel like you're a failure? Well, if you have a challenge with any or all of those, I have a solution for you that will absolutely surprise you because you probably never realized that your brain is driving all of those situations. How does that happen? Well, what they all have in common, whether it's the nighttime urination or the hot flashes or the low libido, that's all related to hormones and circulation. You have a hormone pathway in your body, you have a circulation pathway, and when those two are off, one of the things that happens is that oxygen can't get to the brain, but it also means that there can't be an erection because the blood flow isn't oxygenated, it's not moving, there's cold feet, there may be neuropathy. It's just really poor circulation. And when the hormone pathway is off, especially in women, the hot flashes can just be horrific. I had a woman who was changing her sheets and her pajamas twice a night with hot flashes. We did something pretty special and that's gone. And then I've had people in their 70s that were getting up at night to go to the bathroom multiple times, and all of a sudden they're sleeping through the night. So how does that happen? You see, most people look at their symptoms and then they try to put it into a disease label. A disease label is never your problem. The symptoms are your body's way of talking to you to say, I really could use some help right here. And what is it that needs the most help? Your brain. Because your brainstem cerebellum, runs everything in your body. Your vision, your strength, your speed, your health, your inflammation. All of that is run by the brain. But most people don't work with the brain. Most healthcare providers haven't done a deep dive into neurology to understand it. When I discovered that 10 years ago, totally changed how I worked with clients as a naturopath and wisdom coach. And I've worked with tens of thousands of people from around the world in about 38, almost 40 years. Adding the piece of working with the brain changed everything, and certainly since 2020, when our world has gone through massive change, stress, unpredictability, unknown, all the things that trigger the brain to go unsafe, and pathways just start going haywire. That's probably you, because it's pretty common. So what can you do? What could you do to just work on a pathway that would work with hormones, circulation, erectile dysfunction? That might be worth looking at, don't you think? Well, there is a pathway that works with all 3 of those. It happens to be called ROCKET. Yes, we're going to rock it and talk about it and show you how this might be an answer to those problems I talked about at the beginning of this little time together. In each one of these, there's 30-inch-and-a-half by inch-and-a-half little patches. Now, you know, when patches were presented to me, I just thought they were goofy. It's like, I understand the brain's in charge, but how in the world is something like this put on your skin going to change all that? Then I listened to the science, and I got impressed. You see, Dr. Anna Toker, who is a renowned colorectal surgeon, she uses the patches before and after surgery for all kinds of benefits. And she explained the brain, the vagus nerve, the gut, inflammation, what happened post-2020. She was talking my language, and she shared how it worked with surgery and getting people out of the hospital and not being sick, and it got my attention. Finally, it got my attention. So I understood then that when you peel the backing off of this patch, there's little ridges in here, and they're all uniquely correlated with a brain pathway. EEG will show when a brain pathway is dysfunctional. when it's out of order. So there's all kinds of symptoms out of order because the pathway is out of order. Think of an interstate when it's shut down. That sends cars all over the place. That kind of happens in our body, and we call them symptoms. You don't want to get rid of the symptoms. You want to listen to them because they're giving you valuable information, and it's a way to assess getting the brain pathway back into balance. So when you take this patch, and you'll peel this other little strip off, you're going to put it on your body. Someplace where there's no nerve damage, no scar tissue, no hair. It could be on your arms, on your legs, on your buttocks, on your back, on your shoulder. Play, notice, and discover what works best for you. You put this on your skin, and then what happens? Those little ridges send signals like a QR code to a very specific, QR code goes to a website. These ridges go to a very specific brain pathway. And when that happens, instantly that brain pathway is in homeostasis or balance. And so the different people I've talked to who tried these for nighttime urination, I asked one woman in her late 70s, I said, well, out of curiosity, how long did it take so that you weren't getting up at night to go to the bathroom? She said, a couple of nights. And I went, wow. Now, of course, everybody's different, and there can be lots of symptoms going on, but that might be worth a try. And then hormones. I had another client who combined Rocket with Kick It, and her hormones have balanced. And she said, Cheryl, you know what it's like to sleep through the night and not have to change the sheets and the pajamas twice? I thought that was pretty good. And then there's people that notice that there's starting to be a relaxation so there can actually be intimacy in a relationship. Now, if you're working on erectile dysfunction and that kind of an issue, I want to give you a little bit of a caveat because even though the brain pathway's in balance, it can take some time for the body to catch up with all of that. So in the timeline, if you're around or under age 40, your changes will probably happen in around a week. If you're in that 40 to 50, it might take 2 weeks. If you're over 50, 60, 70, 80, it might take 3 weeks or longer. So this is when you want to give it a little bit of time. But when you begin to support circulation, you know, it's about more than the hormones, the libido. It's about more than the hot flashes. It means that blood flow, circulation is functioning in the body, and it means that blood can flow from the brain to the feet and the feet to the brain. That's a really big game changer in your overall health. And when hormones start to stabilize, that's a pretty big deal. Now, you may want to consider marrying or combining Rocket with Kick It, because sometimes if you've got a lot of self-sabotaging behavior or addictions that impact any of these issues, like food addictions and hormones, that's a big deal. Sugar, for example. This would be really helpful. If you're working on getting libido to turn around and more intimacy, you might want to take a look at peace, because sometimes you just need a little bit of peace in the relationship as well as working on what's going on physical. Do you know what's so much fun about the patches? There's no chemicals. There's no ingredients. There's no contraindications with any medication. Pregnant women can use it. Children can use it. It's even safe on babies as long as you put it back there where they can't reach it and put it in their mouth. And you can just play, because everybody is different. Your brains are different. But what I do know, that I know is that when you put a brain pathway in balance, things change. So give it a try. Play, notice, and discover. Discover how good you can feel in areas that you'd given up any hope that things could change. Get back to the person that connected you to this video, or look below in the description for more information. It's time for circulation. It's time for hormones to take a back seat in being out of balance so that you can sleep well, sleep all night, and maybe enjoy some intimacy.